Nintendo has finally unveiled the Switch 2, and they clearly were not very happy about this. Via a shadow drop on social medias, on X and YouTube, they put this video out there showcasing the new capabilities of their upcoming system. And I gotta be honest, with everything surrounding it, you gotta look at the situation and say, Nintendo didn't want to do it this way, but their hand was forced. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. The Nintendo Switch 2 is finally, well, at least real, and has a name and a logo, and it looks awesome. But holy crap, the way Nintendo went about unveiling this thing was anything but typical. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down how Nintendo clearly was not happy about this unveiling, and they feel like their hand was forced because of all the leaks that were getting out there, specifically from the accessory maker Genki that I talked about previously, and how this kind of just dropped randomly on a Thursday morning, and people were like, yeah, I guess here it is. Not much fanfare, not much big of an introduction, none of the bigwigs at Nintendo talking about how this is going to be the next great thing. It was just, here's a trailer for it. Nintendo has finally officially unveiled the successor to the wildly successful Nintendo Switch, aptly naming it the Nintendo Switch 2. I know a lot of people wanted the Super Switch, and count me as one of them, but hey, at least it's not the Wii X or something dumb like that. No release date has been announced yet, but 2025 is stated at the end of the trailer for letting us know that it will be coming at some point this year, and could potentially be coming as soon as late April or even May. So, only a few months away. The announcement came out of nowhere, shadow dropping a surprise teaser video without any warning, and I can't help but think that this hasty reveal was prompted directly in reaction to the leaks at CES 2025, where Genki showcased a mock-up of the Switch 2 and what it could look like, and the Nintendo ninjas appeared to come out of nowhere in an attempt to shut them down. And I covered that situation in detail on this channel saying, where's Nintendo in all of this? Because it all looks very legitimate, and Nintendo themselves haven't announced anything official yet. Nintendo was reportedly pissed about this. Former Nintendo PR managers Ellis and Krysta shared their thoughts of the potential fallout from the Switch 2 leaks in a recent video on their YouTube channel, drawing directly from their own extensive experience over a decade ago. They talked about how Nintendo would be handling the situation internally right now, and why they're so pissed off about it, and how this whole thing kind of just came together because they felt like their hand was forced.
And now it's being disrupted daily for months with these leaks. And I am 100% sure that they are really, like, mad. Like,
oh, absolutely.
To the most severe level. Yes, this is we joke around about the hot exclamation mark emails. They are hot, hot, hot.
Right.
How many exclamation marks could be at the end of this? They are very, very, very upset by this.
And, you know, to their credit, like they do have very good people who investigate these things. They will eventually get to the bottom of it, but it takes time, and it takes a lot of just talking to everybody involved. So again, like you talk about, you know, this is hard work. This is a lot of work. Like the people who are working on this, and it's not the whole company. Like there's only a small group of people.
They're a small team. Maybe they've expanded the team since then.
At this point, who are allowed to know this information.
Yeah.
You know, they need to focus all of their efforts onto this. But now they have to do, like, half of their day is going to be eaten up with, like, I need to talk to you about every step that you have taken to this point. Who have you talked to? Like, where do you think this could happen?
Share this information
and
with.
Quite frankly, that's time they don't have.
But with all that out of the way, and Nintendo finally talking about this thing, even if they didn't want to talk about it right now, it's out there, and we can look at it and look through what this thing has to offer. And honestly, it looks awesome. The Switch 2 is visibly bigger, boasting a much larger screen to enhance gameplay visuals, and it marks a significant upgrade from the OG Switch, likely aiming to compete with the current gen handhelds in terms of display quality, not to mention a lot more curvy, and it looks way sleeker. I have to imagine it feels way more comfortable holding it as well, and like I've said multiple times, I have big hands, and the original Switch kind of felt crammed after a while if you played it for long periods of time, so this is a welcome change from what we used to have. At least for me. One of the standout features that a lot of people are overlooking is the inclusion of now having dual USB-C ports, one on the top and one on the bottom, and this in itself opens the console up for possible new accessories, VR goggles, I don't know, things I can't even think of right now on why you would need a second USB-C port on this thing, but hey, it's good to have more plugs more ports, more options, I'm all for it. Nintendo kept the headphone jack, ensuring that support for wired headphones stays in place, and that's a relief for gamers who prefer reliability of wired audio. Not something that I'd use, nor would care about if they swapped it out for Bluetooth only, but for kids and ease of flexibility, I can see why they kept it. Other things they updated and changed, the kickstand is exactly what the leaked images from Genki were, a gigantic U on the back, but instead of just a kickstand, it looks like it's much more flexible, enabling for different modes of gameplay, different levels and angles that you can play it as, and I'm sure there's going to be some sort of games that take advantage of how the kickstand gets used. And as far as the dock itself, that has been redesigned as well with more curved features and featuring the Switch 2 logo on the front of it. And probably the biggest change, at least from the visuals here, are the redesigned Joy-Cons, and Nintendo clearly put a lot of effort into these things to make them much better than the original. The Joy-Cons retain some of their iconic shape, but now feature 2 sets of shoulder buttons when detached, and additionally they now include a new docking pin connector and magnetically snap onto the console and accessories, improving both form and function. This was rumored to be the case as far back as early 2024 when I talked about it, and here we see it coming to fruition. The other change is the IR camera on the inside of the Joy-Con instead of on the bottom of the left Joy-Con, which lets people use it as a sort of a mouse. I'm not really sure about the functionality and what games would take use of that, but it's Nintendo. They always do wonky stuff with their games, and I'm sure there'll be something that comes out of that. Then we have the unofficial announcement of a new Mario Kart game, potentially Mario Kart 9, and I was on Side Scrollers this morning with Johnny Arnett, who is a big-time Mario Kart fan, and he said he looked through this thing, watched it, and it was like, yeah, this track does not exist. And we went further detail talking about what was shown off in this trailer. Not just that this is a new Mario Kart game, but instead of 12 players, it looks like there are 24 players, meaning that this game is far more expanded than the original. Then you have people really looking into detail as far as Donkey Kong, looking like the Donkey Kong from the movie instead of Donkey Kong from the Mario Kart 8. There's a lot of minor changes from this game, and I'm sure this is going to be one of those games that most likely launches with the Switch because, let's be honest, most people that play Nintendo play Mario Kart. The Switch 2 continues to support physical cartridges, ensuring backward compatibility for many of the existing titles, but Nintendo states not all previous Switch games will work on the new system, which caught me off guard a bit initially until I thought about it more, and I was like, oh yeah, because you got Nintendo Labo, Ring Fit Adventure, and there's other games that specifically utilize the Joy-Cons that might have issues when you disconnect them and try to use peripherals with them. So I understand why Nintendo would say not all games are compatible, but the way they phrase it makes it sound like, oh, there might be like a issue with the hardware and software compatibility, and I don't think that's what's happening here. They also announced a series of showcasing the Nintendo Switch Off, and you can try to apply to get a ticket to one of these locations, and Nintendo will randomly select it. There's a showing in New York, in Dallas, and Los Angeles, but nobody's guaranteed a pass to get in. It's a random selection, so it's like a lottery, and yeah, if you want to throw your hat in and you live close to one of these places, you might as well sign up for it. As far as the Nintendo Switch 2 being unveiled officially, Nintendo states on their website, Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Switch 2 will air on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, offering a closer look at the Nintendo Switch 2, the successor to Nintendo Switch, releasing in 2025. The broadcast time will be announced on the website and on our social media accounts at a later date, with the console most likely being released shortly after that, so could be as soon as late April, but most people are pointing at May as the launch time for this console to be coming out. While Nintendo has yet to release any kind of specific technical details publicly, the Switch 2 already looks poised to build on the success of its predecessor. With a larger screen, redesigned features, and potential new Mario Kart title coming out, it's shaping up to be one of the most anticipated gaming consoles of 2025, if not ever. The question now is how Nintendo's going to handle this moving forward and how pissed off they're going to continue to be. Because honestly, when I saw this drop the way it did without any kind of official bigwigs at Nintendo talking about it and having the Nintendo Direct being pushed like 2.5 months after this, you gotta make you think they didn't do this because they wanted to. They did it because their hand was forced. And Nintendo likes to surprise people, and I'm sure this pissed off a lot of the people working really hard over there to see that cat got out of the bag because they waited too long, and other people stole their lunch. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
It's time that you don't have.
And we have been through the cycle before when we have worked on products that have leaked when we were inside the company. And yes, you basically have another full-time job of being part of the investigation on these leaks. The other thing is that the company has a really strong mentality of wanting to just like get to the bottom of it. I think every company does, right?
Smash JT.